is worth $1 million.
Welcome back to another episode of the Farming Chefs. Today I'm going to be giving you some traffic lessons. No, just joking. I'm going to be giving you a step-by-step tutorial on how to slaughter a chicken at home using no fancy equipment. So let me just quickly take you through our setup. Behind me, what you see here is our slaughtering cone. A slaughtering cone can also be an upside down traffic cone with part of it cut off. We've used this for years, but our chickens actually are slightly too big for this cone, so we've decided to invest in a quite a lot bigger killing cone. This one is actually for turkeys, but if you see the size of our chickens, you will understand. Alright, this setup is basically quite simple. There's a hole in the cone, in the killing cone, which you can then screw onto any surface. You could do this onto a tree or any kind of backdrop, which will obviously support the screw. And then behind here we have this very smooth panel. The reason we have this here is because we don't want to leave any marks of blood on the panel on the area where we are going to slaughter, since that is quite hard to remove if you don't do it in time, and always do it with cold water. Tip from a pro. And then underneath here we have a bucket, so we collect the blood. There's multiple things you can do with collected slaughtering blood from chickens. One of them is you could cook with it. The second one, you could throw it in your compost, and the third one is you could feed it to your dogs. And probably there are even more things you can do with it. Today we're going for a simple dog/compost feeding session, since we are not up to cooking with blood today, but I'm sure we'll make more videos on that in the future. So that's our slaughtering area. Let me now show you where we then scald the birds. So what we've got here is an outside camping gear setup with a big propane gas tank, and on top of that we have a large pan on top of that filled to the brim with water. You want to bring this water up to about 65 to 70 degrees Celsius. That is the perfect scalding temperature, because what you want to achieve is for the skin to release its feathers, not to boil your chicken halfway through. So with that in mind, keep this thing away from where you'll be doing most of your dressing. This is obviously a bit of a hazard. There's fire, so be careful out there and don't burn your fingers. After the scalding process, we then move on to the plucking station. The plucking station should simply be set up for you to be able to quickly pluck your birds. We usually try to do this with 2 or more people at a time, since you want it to go fast. You really want to get the process going, and if you're only doing 1 or 2 birds, well, then it's pretty straightforward. But if you have more birds, a production line, sort of a factory mentality is quite alright. Think about way so that you're moving through the system, make it quick, make it so that everything is in the right order. Second station, plucking station. Third station, cutting station. The cutting station should be prepared with clean bowls, a sharp knife, a cutting board, and of course an area where you can quickly wash your hands, wash your bird, and keep everything as clean as possible. Then the last thing you don't want to forget about is a big pile of clean towels to cover your animals so that no flies or any other animal will get to them. And bring yourself heaps and heaps of ice packs to keep everything nice and cool. When you slaughter a chicken, it's important to then immediately cool it down, and the best way to do that on an off-site setting is to bring your ice bags. We collect our birds the day of, early in the morning, and we keep them aside out of view in this chicken box. The reason we keep them out of view is just to prevent any kind of excess stress, which is really unnecessary. We don't need the birds seeing their companions getting slaughtered, and also because like this you can easily and quickly get to work.
I put the chicken upside down.
Gotta get that sound right.
Upside down, all the legs. Have the knife ready. Don't go through the whole neck. Now we're gonna put the chicken on the hot bed, around 1 minute more or less. Make sure it's all underwater. Don't burn yourself. So normally the whole chicken you pluck against the feather, the point of growth from the feather, and on the wings, the big feathers like this, you pull it on the same growth
Direction.
So they come easy and you get like nice clean wings without ripping off, because it's a sensitive spot, and if you pull other way around, you're gonna rip the meat.
This is where the master deviates from the amateur. How clean can you get your chicken? Right, Philippe?
Yeah. Clean. That's a clean chicken. Done. Now to the butchering part. I like to take the head off. I have a scissor for it. Done. So I'm gonna start with the legs. The legs are very easy. There's a tendon between it, and this, if you cut this tendon, you almost don't need to cut anything else because it just comes in one time. Now I'm gonna take the air pipe and the esophagus from the chicken, from the neck, and release by the stern. A small cut, something you can put your finger in. You're gonna try to find those two little pipes in the neck. You put your finger to it, you're gonna pull it back like this. There you have. Next thing is release the food bag, this little bag that chickens have here, where they store all their grain for later. And now we're gonna take a cut here between the end of the stern and the butt. So we pull it back, and it's gonna be easy to cut. Don't cut too much, make just a little hole. You can put your fingers. Normal on this part, there's some poo coming out. I always do this to the side. I put the hands inside. And I pull everything down. Now there's gonna be the liver. You have to be very careful with this little bag. This is called the bilis. If this touches any piece of the meat, it's gonna be ruined, your meat. Totally. And she's next to the liver. And we want the liver for that beautiful pate that Sophie makes. Look at this. So a healthy liver looks like. Okay, liver is done. Now we got here the stomach. So we take all the fat, cut this. What I'm gonna do is take a cut like this. Not all the way until the end, just until you get to the in layer of the stomach. And that in layer is gonna stay intact. And then you're gonna split them in two. So you can see the food of these chickens is amazing. It's a lot of grass. It's all compressed grass. And you see a lot of stones. Chicken eat the stones, so that it helps them to digest everything that they have in the stomach and to clean the stomach. The inside of the stomach of the chickens is like leather. It's a really, really tough material. This is that leather piece. This is extremely resistant. This one we know it was a rooster. Here we have the chicken heart. I'm gonna clean it a little bit. So what I do now, I grab the knife because everything is out, and I do a cut here around the chicken anus. And there you have. And last but not least, take this little gland of the chicken. Changes the flavor.
Hi guys, so we are 1 week later now, and I just got out of the freezer room to bring this beautiful bird out of there and defrost it for dinner tonight. We usually batch slaughter our birds and then have them in the freezer so we can take them out when we need them. This is just way more convenient time-wise, but of course there's nothing wrong with slaughtering on command, it just takes a little bit more time. We wanted to just thank you for watching, we hope you learned something, and if you have any questions, remarks, comments, leave them down below. We are eager to read them and to know what you guys are up to and what you're thinking. I think that's it. See you on the next one, The Farming Chefs. Peace out.